Right? Hi guys, welcome to today's session on target to reaching 99 percentile in CAT 2022. Right, so we're going to talk, in fact, I'm going to talk for the next 25-30 minutes, probably about 40 minutes at most. The whole idea is to give you a broad structure, a broad takeaway on how should you plan for the next 8 or 9 months to reach this coveted 99 percentile. But before we get into that, I want to explain to you why am I talking about 99, why not 98 or 97 or 95. So there's a very simple reason. I have it in a couple of slides coming your way. But let's start and understand what should you do for the next 9 months. How do you tackle each one of the sections in CAT, namely the English section, that is VARC, the DILR as well as Quant. What are the things that you need to do at different stages in the next 9 months? Okay, that's what I'm going to discuss. Right? So let's start with the agenda. We're going to talk about understanding the admission process. So if you understand the process, you will know what it is that you're going to prepare, not just for CAT, what happens after CAT also. You will get a fair idea about what is in store for you for the next 8-10 months or probably more than that, because it's not just CAT. After CAT also there is a process that needs to be done. Right? Then we're going to talk about what score gets you a 99 percentile. So percentile, I'll explain the meaning of percentile, and I'll also tell you what kind of a score is expected to get you this particular percentile. Right? Then we will be talking about how do you undertake this journey. So we know our destination. By this point we will know what our destination is. So then we will talk about from this point onwards to the destination point, how do we go about, how do we travel, how do we navigate. So that's what is going to be there for the as a third part of the agenda. And finally we're going to talk as a part of the journey, what are the things that you need to do in the next 9 months. I will break it up into 3 phases. In fact, there is a 3-phase preparation strategy I'm going to talk about. What needs to be done in phase 1, till what month is this phase 1? What needs to be done in phase 2 and phase 3? What is the timeline for this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? So all of this I'm going to discuss in the session right now. Okay. So let's start looking at getting into your dream school. Many of you dream about getting into the top colleges, the IIMs or the FMS, MDI, SPJ. There are so many good colleges out there, right? So typically, what is the admission process? It is not just CAT score anymore. There was a time when I was preparing for my college, for my MBA, it was purely CAT score. You write the CAT exam and you're done. You get a good score, you'll get an interview call. But now it's not like that anymore. To get the stage 1 itself, stage 1 means you have written your CAT exam and you get a call for the interview. Interview is a stage 2. So stage 1 itself is not just CAT, it is a test score in your CAT exam plus something called as your profile score. Okay, so it's a test score plus a combination of your profile score. I'll explain what is the meaning of profile, what makes up the profile. Different colleges looks at different parts of your profile. So I'm not getting into right now which colleges look at what aspect of the profile. I'll just explain to you what is the meaning of a profile. Right? Stage 2 is when if you qualify, if you do your CAT exam good and your profile is also good, you will get a call for the second stage, which is the interview, GD interview WAT stage. And here you will be you'll be marks, or you'll be getting marks on 4 categories. One is, again, they will look at how much you scored in CAT, right, which is already a part of your first stage. Then you'll be looking at marks that you get for your personal interview. How well have you done your interview? Then there is, again, this profile comes back again. It doesn't stop. It comes back. It keeps coming back again and again. And it's either WAT or PI depending upon the GD depending upon the college. Sometimes it is very few cases it is GD. I already discussed in one of my previous videos that GD is now more or less redundant. Hardly one institute conducts, 1 or 2 of the institutes in the top 20 colleges conduct GD. No one else is conducting GD. So more or less GD is dead for students who are preparing for CAT 22 and even for CAT 21. WAT, yes, is required. Sometimes an extempore or extempore is what it's called as. Certain colleges ask that. And you also have something called as group exercises and so on and so forth. So this entire thing, gamut of things, come under this WAT score or a GD or an extempore or group exercises, or sometimes you have group interviews also. It's not an individual interview, it's a group interview. So anyway, all of this put together will be coming into your stage 2. So based on your stage 2 performance, you will be given separate marks for each one of them. Then they'll total it up. Again, different colleges have different weightages. Some colleges say that I'll give only 40% weightage to test score. I'll give probably in fact less than that, 30% weightage here, 40% weightage to your interview, and probably profile will have 20%. And 10% weightage to this. So this is one kind of adding up of scores. So different colleges have different breakup of the weightages. So you need to have a good profile, you need to have a good test score, whichever test you're writing, and of course you need to perform well in your interviews as well as your WAT and other aspects in the stage 2. And finally, if you go through all of this, you will be standing a chance to get into the coveted college or the college of your dream. So before we go further, guys, I would remind you to please click on the subscribe button, please click on the notification button to keep yourself updated about such videos in the future. We keep conducting a lot of such videos, and in fact tomorrow I have another session. There are sessions lined up in the next week also, so please click on the notification button and the like button. Anyway, so let's take a look at what exactly is this profile. Okay, now one thing that I want to make it very clear, some of you might be wondering, oh, my profile, those of you already know what a profile is. So you might be wondering, my profile is not so good, what can I do about it? So first let us understand what actually makes up a profile. Is it good or bad? And what do you do if it is not good? Okay, let's take a look at it. So profile score, first thing that they look at is your 10th class score, which is done and dusted, right? It's about 7-8 years old. It's an 8-year or 7-year-old story for you, for many of you. If you have done a 3-year graduation, it's at least 5-year-old story, but they do look at it. In fact, if you look at IIM Indore, right? IIM Indore gives a 36% weightage to your class 10th. Now, please don't ask me why they do that. They do that. That's a fact. There are certain other colleges which probably give only a 10% weightage to your 10th class. Some colleges, they do not consider 10th class, they look at 12th class. It all depends upon college to college. So in the profile score, the first thing that they look at is your class 10th score. The second thing they look at is your 12th class score. Once again, if you look at the highest weightage is given once again by IIM Indore, it gives 40% weightage to your class 12th score, and there are other institutes which give probably about 10% weightage to 15% weightage. This is more sane number, this is a better number. Again, Indore gives a 40% weightage. Please go and ask them why they do that. But yeah, that's a fact. That's how it is. Now you might be wondering, some of you might be wondering, sir, my 10th class score is bad, my 12th class score is bad. What do I do about it? Well, you can't do anything. It's over, right? Now, should you worry about it? Should you give up on CAT? Not really. Please remember, even today, there are colleges which accept only the CAT score, like your FMS, even your Calcutta. I am Calcutta. Now, FMS considers purely CAT score in their first round, that is stage 1, whereas I am Calcutta considers profile plus, I'm giving you two examples. FMS purely CAT score, I am Calcutta considers profile plus your CAT score also. But I am Calcutta, the best thing about them is they say anybody above 80%, in your 10th and 12th, you will get full marks. So they don't care whether you got 85 or 90 or 95. Okay, you'll get full marks. In case your score is 70 to 80% in your 10th or 12th, then you'll get slightly lesser marks. So the whole idea is, if your 10th and 12th are bad, don't worry. Point number 1, you can't do anything about it, right? Accept it. Point number 2, there are colleges which will give you a chance if your CAT score is good, like your FMS, or to an extent like your Calcutta. Okay, even if you manage to get barely an 80 point something, you become equivalent in their eyes to a person who gets a 96% in 10th and 12th. It doesn't matter. So you don't have to worry. There are other colleges also. I've just given you few examples, 1 or 2 examples, but yeah, there are colleges which will give very less weightage to your 10th and 12th, right? The third part of your profile is your graduation score. Now, once again, a graduation score, it's given weightage by colleges like IIM Bangalore, IIM Ahmedabad. They they do. In fact, this year Ahmedabad came out and said that we are not giving weightage to graduation score at all. But yeah, the reason they did that is they realized for the last 2 years it's all learn from home, exam from home. So there are a lot of instances of mass copying and things like that. So they said, okay, we will not consider the graduation score for this year. That's what they announced. Ahmedabad has not yet come out with their CAT 21 result. Anyway, so the point being, graduation score is considered in some colleges. There are certain colleges which do not consider graduation score. They consider only 10th and 12th. For example, if you look at Indore, they give heavy weightage to their 10th and 12th, but they don't have, in fact, they give zero weightage to their graduation. Okay, so that's how it is. So there, again, you don't have to worry saying that I am bad in my 10th, I'm bad in my 12th. The point which I'm trying to make again is, irrespective of how your profile is, there are colleges which will select those only few aspects that you are good at. There are colleges which will select those aspects which you are bad at. So don't stop worrying about it. Now the only thing which is under your control is the best shot that you can give at CAT. So focus on your CAT 22 percentile and score. Try to maximize it and stop worrying about your profile, because this is not in your control anymore, right? You'll realize why it is not in your control. The next thing is work experience. This is also not under your control. You are a fresher. With whatever you do, you can't get work experience by the end of this year. November is when CAT happens. So typically last Sunday of November every year is when CAT happens. This year also, if you are in your final year right now, you can't expect to get work experience by the time, right? So what can you do? There's nothing. That's okay. You prepare saying that I cannot do much about it, so I will maximize my CAT score. If you are 1 year experience or 2 year experience, it doesn't matter which company you are in. Please remember, the company does not add any value. At least as far as your the first stage goes. Interview is a different issue, but to get to the interview, the company name does not add value. You could be in a government company or a startup or or in a Fortune 500 company. They are all the same. What matters is the work experience in months. How many months of experience do you have? That's what matters, right? For all you know, you could be doing, you could be sitting on the bench doing nothing for the last 12 months. It happens for some of the students. But you will be considered equivalent to a person who's working, is slogging their way through for the last 12 months. You will both be treated equally as far as coming to the interview is concerned. In the interview, the questions that you get will depend upon what kind of work you have done. That's a different issue. But at least to get the interview call, the company does not matter. It is only the number of months that matters, right? Gender diversity, again I said this is not in your control. You're born as a female or you're born as a male. You are a female, good, you are getting some free points without doing anything. You're born as a male, nothing you can do, you're losing those points. So don't worry about these things which are not under your control. Again I keep repeating, you have your CAT 22, which is the next 9-month 10-month target. Focus on it, maximize it. Okay. Could I prepare for CAT? Okay, Soumya is asking, I have secured only 56% in 12th. Could I prepare for CAT or not? Soumya, you can definitely prepare for CAT. There are colleges which have 60% as a minimum requirement. There are colleges which have 50% as a minimum requirement. So please go ahead and prepare for your CAT exam. Without doubt, there are enough colleges which will take you through if you get a good CAT percentile. Okay. Sid is saying he's 45 years old with 19 years work experience and want to pursue a full-time MBA. Should I attempt CAT or ZAT? Sid, neither CAT nor ZAT. My friend, you have 45 years with 19 years of work experience. I don't think a full-time 2-year MBA is your way forward. You should be looking at an executive program, a 1-year executive program. That's the best option. Please take a look at, if you want to get into XLRA executive program, then look at what is the requirement. Is it ZAT or GMAT? Write the particular exam. For example, if you want to get into any of the IIMs, for executive program, it is GMAT that you need to write, not CAT. Similarly, if I'm not mistaken, ZAT for XLRA executive program, it accepts both ZAT as well as GMAT scores. But please check once. It is definitely not a 2-year program in India for you. Okay, please don't get into the regular MBA. They will not take you. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Sid. Right, so let's move ahead, guys. So this is basically what is made up of your profile score. And last thing is academic diversity. Again, not under your control. The decision has been made. You chose to become an engineer. You chose to get into fine arts or commerce, whatever it is, else it is. The decision has already been made. So you can't change that. If they are giving you marks for your stream, which is called as academic diversity, well, take it. If they are not giving you marks for your stream, you can't worry about it. It's already over. Okay. Right, Soumya, which colleges accept 50% 12th score? A lot of IIMs, Soumya. In fact, please take a look at their websites. I don't want to get into the name of IIMs. There are a ton of IIMs which take a 50% requirement for your 10th and 12th. So please take a look at their websites. Okay, let's move ahead. So let's take a look at the top colleges. I'm going to give few top colleges and I'm going to explain why 99 percentile is my target in the session right now. While if you look at their website, if you go to their websites, if you look at this, they show this. If you look at Ahmedabad website, Ahmedabad says I need 70 percentile in English, 70 percentile in DI and 70 in Quant, and overall should be 80. That's what Ahmedabad says. Then I am sitting here or standing here rather and I am saying that you need to get a 99 percentile. Why am I saying that? The reason is you need to understand this is the minimum requirement. It is not. This is necessary but not sufficient. Okay, I hope you guys know the basics of this necessary and sufficient condition. Necessary condition means if this is not met, you will not even be there in their criteria. You know, they will not even look at you. A sufficient condition means if you meet that condition which is sufficient, then they will consider you for sure. So this is called as a necessary condition, which means if they want to even look at you means it's not that you're getting a call. Looking at you means you are there in their consideration pool. Okay, now what they do is, I'll explain the process what happens. They say, so for example, if you look at Ahmedabad, of all the people who write CAT and apply to IIM Ahmedabad, they will first take, I'm just explaining it to you in the works of Excel. They'll take an Excel sheet, they may not be working in Excel, I'm just giving you an example. They'll take an Excel sheet, put all the students, and they'll filter 70%, 70% or rather 70%, 70 percentile and 70 percentile. So they will kick out all the students straight away, shift del, all the students who did not get 70, 70, 70 in each one of the sections. Right, so even in one section you fail, you are thrown out. So let us say they did that and they got a total of probably around 40,000 students. They got a 40,000 student set who got 70, 70, 70 and 80. Now they will obviously not call all 40,000. Now what they do is they will sort these 40,000 based on the overall in the descending order. So starting from the 100 percentiler going down to 100 percentile, to 99.9, to 99.5 or rather not 5, 99.8 and finally up to 99.6. Typically this is where it stops. They will say that I want to call, I have a total of 400 seats. I will call at best 800 students, that's all. If that is the case, they want to call only 800 students, they will call the top 800 students. Which means by the time it comes to 99.6, that 800 students are already selected. The others got 80 and above, but they will not be called. So what I'm saying is this is called as the necessary statement or necessary condition. It is not a sufficient condition. It is not a sufficient condition. So sufficient condition is you need to get a very, very high percentile to get into an Ahmedabad, Bangalore or Calcutta for that matter. Depending upon, again, I'm talking about general category, OBC category slightly lower, SC, ST will be a little bit more lower, EWS category will be somewhere in the range of 94, 95 percentile in that range. So again, the whole idea is, if you're talking about a percentile requirement, don't go by what is shown on the website. The website only tells the minimum requirement. It is not enough. It is not a guarantee that if you get this minimum, you'll get an IIM call. In fact, the requirement to get an IIM call will be far higher than what is mentioned on the website. So similarly, there are other colleges with their different criteria. You can see, but this actually, this what they show on the website is redundant. It is useless to you. Okay, because if you want to get a call, you should not be looking at this. You want to be looking at or targeting far higher than this. It has to be far higher than this. Okay, so let's take a look at actually. So I have compiled a list of colleges. Obviously, it is not exhaustive. List of colleges and actually what is the score at which the students got a call. Right. So this is what I have. Take a look at it. So you'll see that these are the actual scores at which students got calls. I am Ahmedabad, the last person who got a call was 99.6 general male engineer. 99.6 or 99.6 something, okay? 6566. I am Bangalore was 99.2. If you are looking at Calcutta is 99.6 again. Lucknow 99.2 again. There are a lot of factors. This year Lucknow did not call a student at 99.8 percentile. So look at this, guys. 99.84 percentile in CAT 2021. Okay, the student is a male, general engineer, and the student had 95 in 10th and 94.6 in 12th. The student did not get a call from Lucknow this year. Now, what I'm saying is, if somebody got at 99.2, it means that they might not be from engineering, or they might have some extra work experience. This guy is a fresher. So a fresher did not get a call, whereas a work experienced guy with 2 years at a lower percentile than this could end up getting a call. So I'm just giving you a brief idea that this is the range in which the calls will come to you. Okay. Satyansai is saying he's got an inter 65 percentage in CAT 99.6. Then we got a call. Satyasai, I didn't understand your statement at all. Can you please rephrase it properly so that it is I mean I can understand what you mean. 58% in graduation. Yes, graduation does not have a problem. You can apply. It's not a problem. Okay. Job aspirant seeker, I don't know who it is, but yeah, you can apply. Anyway, so you can look at this. So take a look at this, guys. These are the actual realistic figures at which you get a call from these top universities or colleges. If you look at IIM Indore 97, Kozhikode at 98, Shillong at 97. The newer IIMs, again there are two classifications of IIMs. They call it as newer IIMs and the baby IIMs or the latest IIMs. Okay, the newer IIMs will be giving you a call at around 96%, and the ultra new IIMs, whatever name you call it, the latest IIMs or the baby IIMs give you a call at around 94 to 95 percentile. FMS, one of the top 5 in the country for sure, will require a 99 percentile in CAT to give you a call. Similarly, IIFT requires a 97 percentile. JBIMS, one of the best colleges in Bombay, in fact one of the top colleges in India for sure, requires 99.8 percentile if you are not if you don't have the domicile of Maharashtra. MDI requires a 98 percentile, NMIMS requires a 94 percentile. So I have put across these realistic figures, and you can see that none of them are in the 80 range or a 90 range also, which is mentioned on the websites. Right? Now if you look at this, you will understand why I am saying targeting 99 percentile that should be the target for you for the next 8 months. Okay, so this is, if you want to get into these colleges, you should target that 99 plus percentile, and that is the reason why I have taken 99 percentile as the requirement. Okay. Right, so let's take a look at what scores gave what percentile in CAT. Now if you look at CAT, there are two patterns which are there. One is the CAT 2020 pattern and 2021 pattern, which is only a 2-hour exam. Whereas the years before it, 2018, 2019, 2017, 16, it was a 3-hour pattern. So in 3-hour pattern, you had 100 questions. In 2-hour pattern, again, the number of questions have come down quite a bit. So we'll take a look at what happened. For example, if you look at last year meaning the 2021 CAT exam, the number of questions were about 66 only. Okay, so you had around 20 or 21 in DILR, you had 22 questions in Quant and about 24 questions in your verbal. Whereas in the 2020 exam pattern, the questions were slightly higher, right? A little bit more, but again, it was not close to 100. It was, if I remember it correct, it was about 74 or 72 questions. So the whole idea is the requirement keeps changing depending upon the number of questions that have been asked. So keeping that in mind, this is the score, and this highlighted in red is the is the score that gave a 99 percentile in each section. So let's take a look at it. If you look at these three, 2018, these four, 16, 17, 18, 19, the 4 years where there was no pandemic, it was a 3-hour exam and 100 questions, which means the total number of marks were 300 because each question gives you 3 marks. Each correct answer gives you 3 marks. So 100 questions into 3 is 300 marks, and you will see that it was requirement, on an average you can see the requirement was around 155. On an average it was 155. There was only one exception, which is the year 2017. The score requirement went up to 173, which means it was an easy paper. For the same percentile you're getting a high score means lot of students scored high. It was an easy paper, but that was an aberration. If you look at it in the 4 years, on an average it was 155, which has happened in 3 years, and 1 year it was very easy. Now 155 is how many questions out of 100? You're looking at divide by 3 because each question is for 3 marks. So 3 5s are and 3 1s are. So approximately 52 questions you need to get right. So half the questions you need to get right. If you count for mistakes, let us say you make it a round figure of 60 because you get some correct, you will get 2 or 3 mistakes. So overall, because when you make a mistake, there's a negative mark also. So let us say you attempt 60 questions, you get around 53 or 54 correct, and you make around 5 or 6 mistakes. Right? This is what you need to prepare for, which means you need to be able to attempt 60 plus questions if your accuracy is very, very high. If your accuracy is low, your attempt should be even more higher. Okay, 60 should probably go up to 65, 66, I don't know, depending upon what is your accuracy level. So if you look at last before year 2020, 102 was so remember before year the number of questions decreased. So this was 76 questions if I remember it correctly. So 76 into 3 was 228 marks. Right, so totally there were 76 questions, out of which to get a 99 percentile you needed a 102 score. Overall score was supposed to be 102, which was 34 questions. So you get 34 questions perfectly correct, no mistakes, you will get a 99 percentile. Okay, so it's not an easy task, my friends. I'm telling you, it is not easy. At the same time, it is not something which is impossible. Every year students do it. Right? Let's take a look at what happened in 2021. That is this particular year, or this meaning the most recent mock. If you look at it, if you look at it section wise, and here I've given a little bit more elaborate information. If you look at Quant, the 99 percentile, almost 99 percentile was at 35. 35 is something close to 12 questions only out of 22 questions. Out of 22 questions in Quant, you wanted to get, or you had to get only 12 questions correct. That will give you around 99 percentile. That's what happened last year. It was a little bit easier in terms of relatively. I mean, I'm not saying Quant was very easy. I'm saying compared to the other years, to CAT 21, Quant was a little bit easier. Okay. If you look at DILR, to get a 99 percentile, once again you needed to get a similar kind of 12 questions correct. Okay, and if you're looking at English turned out to be a bit more easier. In fact, if you're looking at English, you are supposed to get almost about 15 questions correct out of the 24 that came in English. Okay, so overall the 99 percentile, this is sectional score. Overall 99 percentile, my friends, was about 96 to 97 marks. Overall 99 percentile in CAT 2021 was 96 to 97 marks. Okay, so you're looking at 96 to 97, so that's about 32 to 33 questions correct. 1/3 approximately, or not even 1/3, 40% to 45% of the total you need to get. If there are, let's say 60, 65 or 66 questions, yeah, this is actually 50%. Almost 50%. Half is what you need to get correct to reach the 99 percentile mark. So we will now discuss how do you reach this 99 percentile by getting half the questions correct. Now compared to your 10th or 12th or your graduation, getting 50% of the marks. Remember, there's a difference between percentage and percentile. Percentage is out of 66 questions, you're getting half of them correct, 33 correct. That is 50%. Whereas percentile says this 33 questions correct gives you 99 marks. What is your rank when you get 99 marks? So if you are a 90, let's say you are a 95 percentile. 95 percentile, I'm explaining the meaning of percentile to you. 95 percentile means you are at a rank where out of all the people who have written the exam, only 5% of the people are before you, the remaining 95% of the people are behind you. So percentile means what is the percentage of people who are behind you compared to all the students who have written the exam. So technically, if there are 10 students who write an exam and I got the first rank, I will still get only 90 percentile. I will never get 100 percentile. Why? Because if there are only 10 students, I am ranked number 1, there are 9 students behind me. So 9 out of 10 is my percentile, which is 90 percentile. Okay, it's very interesting. Technically that way, even the first ranker will never get a 100 percentile. In fact, people get 100 percentile by rounding off. You get a 99.997. They round it off to 100. So mathematically, you will never get a 100 percentile. Anyway, you've got 67, me and my backpack. Guys, you come with some weird names. Anyway, so this student is asking, he's got a 67 in 12th. How much percentile do I need to get into IMB or FMS? Are you from general category, my friend? See, for FMS, it is a 99 percentile for sure, irrespective of your graduation 10th and 12th. Okay, FMS looks at CAT score and CAT score only. So if you want to get into FMS as a general category student, a 99 percentile is a must. If you are from IIM Bangalore, then the chances are very less that you'll get through, depending upon your graduation score also. If your graduation is also something like 60, 65, your 10th is also like that, 12th is also like that, it's very difficult to get into IIM Bangalore irrespective of your CAT score unless you score a 100 percentile. Okay, Bangalore as a policy, they call the top 100 percentiles anyway. Okay, yeah, general non-engineer, my friend, 67% in 12th. Try to get at least 99.5 or 99.6. You might stand to have a chance because your graduation, I'm assuming, will also be in the same range of 60, 65. It's a very tough call, but yes, FMS will give you definitely a call if you reach your 95%, 99 percentile. Okay, a lot of other good colleges will give you a call at 99 plus percentile. So don't lose hope. It's just one Bangalore you might not be getting, but there'll be a lot of other colleges. For example, if you look at XLRI, the same preparation that you're doing for CAT can be used to crack your XAT exam. And XLRI does not look at profile, it looks at purely the XAT score. So, well, you can get into XLRI, one of the top 5, top 6 in the country without fail, right? So don't worry about not getting called from one college here or one college there. The point is, if you prepare for a target of 99, there are enough good colleges that will call you. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at, so we'll look at the plan for getting this 99 percentile in the next 9 months. So we're going to look at a 9-month plan. So the target is to reach that 99 percentile. We are looking at 3 phases of preparation. What is it? What is the preparation? I'm going to break it down into 3 phases. I'm going to talk about the importance of mock exams. This is something which many of you take very lightly. You don't take it seriously, and I will speak about mocks and I'll explain to you why are these things so damn important, right? I'll also talk about mocks and their analysis. How do you need to analyze your mocks? And more importantly, the mentoring and guidance that you need. Mock analysis typically is done through a mentor or to the help of a guide. Right, unless you've already done it in the last time, or somebody is there who's helped you already. You, in my opinion, you need somebody as a coach to tell you, okay, what is going wrong in your mock. It could be a senior, it could be wherever you joined, it could be I myself if you are one of the students of BYJU. But the whole idea being, you need some kind of mentorship. Remember, guys, even the best batsman or even the best player of chess or the world champion will require a coach. The reason is, irrespective of how good you are, if there is a mistake that you're doing, an outsider will know the mistake rather than you yourself knowing your own mistake and correcting. Very few people are able to do that. Okay, let's take a look at the phase 1. Okay, so the 9-month plan, phase 1, it's going to happen, or it's I will call it as the phase from Feb to June, and this I'm calling it as phase 1. Now we're going to have Feb, March, April, May, June, 5 months. You're looking at 5 months. Because I'm discounting the next 2-3 days. Okay, Jan is over. Today is 27th, 28, 29, 30, 31. The 4 days I will leave it. So starting from Feb to June, you have 5 months to finish this phase 1. What are you supposed to do in this phase 1? The phase 1, you are supposed to focus only on concepts. Don't worry. So Focus on concepts and easy questions. Don't worry about hard ones. Don't worry even about moderate questions. Your job is, I'll take an example for you to understand. Do you know what is how many topics are there in geometry? At the end of June, if I say geometry, can you tell me all the topics which are there within geometry? Okay. Do you know, if I say, okay, triangles, can you list out all the concepts that you are supposed to learn in triangles? If I talk about English, do you know what are the various reading comprehension topics that can come? Can you talk about how one topic is different from the other? You don't have to be great in answering it, but at least do you know what it is? If I ask you about DI and LR, can you tell me what are the different types of graphs that come in data interpretation and how is one graph different from the other? At least can you tell me the list of topics that are there under logical reasoning? So the whole idea is get yourself familiar. Familiarize yourself with the topics. Make sure that you solve all the easy questions from the material that has been provided to you from whichever institute you have joined. Okay, make sure that you have done this by the end of June. It's a 5-month task. Only the concepts, all concepts you should remember. You might be weak at a certain concept, that's okay, but do you at least know that such a concept exists? At the end of the 5 months, that is June, you should not say that, oh, I didn't even learn about this. I didn't even know this existed. That statement should not come from you. That's a simple single point agenda. Okay. The next thing is, so that's the whole idea. So by June end, all the concepts should be covered once at least and should remember the concept. If not, the application, if you're not able to apply it, if you're not able to perfectly know the concept, that's still fine. But it should, if I talk about a concept at the end of June, it should not be a surprise to you. Okay. The next thing, now to do this, you will require, and this is where the hard part comes in. Now, those of you who prepared for IIT, JEE or for various other entrance exams in your life, you would have studied for hours together. I don't need hours together in a day. I need 1.5 hours per day. That's all. Every day for next 9 months. I need your 1.5 hours of proper preparation without disturbances. Now guys, I'll spend a little bit of time to talk about the importance of consistency. This is very, very important for you to know. It is, if I tell you that you will get into the best college if you can get up at 4 o'clock for the next 20 days. By hook or by crook, I know you guys will get up for 20 days. If I say 30 days, you'll get up for 30 days. Saying that, okay, it's only 30 days, you'll put an alarm, you'll put water on your face, you'll sleep early, 30 days you'll do it and you said, okay, my job is done, I'll get my call. But that's not how it is. The reality is, you don't need to get up at 4 o'clock every day. I'm just giving an analogy, but can you get up at 6:30 or even 7 every day for the remaining 9 months? And you'll realize that this is more difficult. This is even more difficult than getting up at 4 for 30 days. Consistently. So remember, why do you say Michael Bevan was one of the best batsmen ever, or Rahul Dravid was called as the wall, and he was valued a lot more than probably a Virendra Sehwag? The reason is, he was not a guy who can go and hit 200 runs or 150 runs, but in a one-day international, his average used to be around 50 plus. Consistently, every time he used to deliver. And such people are difficult to find. How many walls are there? How many walls have we been able to create in our Indian cricket? How many Michael Bevans have you seen in the entire international cricket for that matter? Very few. But you always have Sehwag's kind of people who can come, hit or get dug out. So doing huge amount of work in a short span is easy than doing this consistently, little work, but every day. This is where the commitment comes in. You know, you're going for the long haul. If you do this, I will guarantee, I'm putting out my reputation, I'm saying that if you can do this for the next 9 months, a 99 percentile is a guarantee for you. There's no doubt about it. I've been looking at students for the last 15 years, since 2007. And I can assure you, my friends, that this is the amount of preparation that is required. The problem what happens is, you will start with 1.5 hours a day for the first 10 days, 15 days, then you say, okay, let me take a break. I have been doing for 15 days. 1 day's break basically makes the next day preparation as 3 hours. So, oh, 3 hours, no, let me do one thing, I will push it a little bit to the next day. 2 days break makes the third hour 4.5 hours, and then it becomes very difficult for you to catch up. Okay, it's not that you need to be a hare running very fast. Be a tortoise, but don't sleep. Keep walking, you'll win the race. No problem. Okay. Then other thing which I want, and this is not the typical preparation. The second part is 1 hour of reading. Now this reading is not your reading of or reading about maths or reading, actually maths is solving, you don't read maths. Okay, it's not reading DILR or English. The basic idea is read anything you like. Take a book, take a magazine, take a paper, I don't care what it is. You want to read Harry Potter, go ahead and read it. You want to read Eat, Pray, Love, go ahead and read it. I don't mind. Point is, read for 1 hour every day. And start with things that you like. Pick a nice fiction book or a children's book if you like. Start reading, but get the habit of reading. 9 months is a long time for you to develop the habit of reading. And this is not just for your cat. It requires slowly, if you start developing this habit, you will get into the newspapers part later on, which is very, very required for your second stage preparation for your interviews. Okay, if you are not in the habit of reading, my friends, as a manager, you're going to be really having a tough time if you get in the first place. Okay. The second thing is start your mocks by May. Now you might be wondering, sir, my concepts are not even completed. Why am I starting mocks in May? Many institutes start mocks in April itself. They are not idiots to do that. I fully support starting mocks in April and May. I am saying you can start by May itself. If possible, start from April. But there's a very nice reason. Okay, you're supposed to write 4 to 5 mocks by June. That's enough. May and June, 2 months you write 2 mocks or 2 plus 3 mocks or 3 plus 2 mocks. Total 5 mocks by June end. That is good enough. Now the reason is, it's quite simple. I'll talk about why are we starting mocks so early a little bit. But let's talk about what are the things that you need to be covering as concepts in English. We'll talk about English concepts, DILR concepts and Quant concepts. You are supposed to finish these, at least the concepts part. If not being perfect at it, at least you should know what these are by June end. Okay, so let's see. Verbal ability. These 3 are very important. You should know what are para-jumbles, you should know what are odd para-jumbles, you should know what is a para-summary. You should have at least solved few questions from each one, few meaning in the next 6 months, if you're supposed to put a number, something like 70 questions in each. You have, I mean, that looks very high, but you're talking about 5 months. It's not a big deal. You solve 5, 5, 5, 5 every day, you'll easily finish your target of 70, 70, 70. It's not a big deal, right? So this is what you should be familiar with. You at the end of 6 months, you cannot say that, okay, I don't know the difference between odd para-jumble and para-jumble. Okay, that's not where you're supposed to be. The next thing, again, verbal ability, but here I will say that you can. So this is more important for you. This is okay kind of. If you have time, you prepare, otherwise you don't. Vocabulary, to be very honest, my friends, you don't have to prepare great about vocabulary. If you are interested, if you are enthusiastic about it, please go ahead. Otherwise, in today's competitive exams, vocabulary, at best 1 question comes or 2 questions come. You don't have to spend hours together for that 1 or 2 questions. Okay. In fact, in CAT, if I remember, not even a single question is expected from vocabulary. But yeah, SNAP and other exams will have vocabulary based questions. But again, depending upon what exam you're preparing for, you make a choice whether you want to prepare for vocabulary or not. I would definitely say this is a must. This is up to you. Grammar, I would again say iffy. It's not really required. Nobody's testing your, at least not the top colleges. CAT and ZAT are not testing your grammar. Once again, where is grammar tested? It is tested in your SNAP. It is tested in your IAFT entrance exam. It is tested in your NMAT. I think ZAT probably few questions might come, but again they are going to be very easy questions. If you know how to speak proper English, basic English, that's good enough. You don't need to spend hours together on this. Okay, so I would again say this is again based on your interest levels. Okay, reading speeds is a must here. Now, reading speed is a must because your entire CAT or ZAT has a lot of content to go through. If you are slow in reading, whether it's maths or DI, LR or English, you will never be able to go through the questions. Okay, if you can't go through the questions, you leave the questions and the time will be up. So your reading speed has to increase. That is why I said that 1 hour of reading every day, which is over and above the 1.5 hour of your preparation. So 1.5 hour is prep. Prep means you're solving or understanding concepts, you're solving questions. That is your 1.5 hour. This 1 hour is reading your books, novels, whatever else it is, so that your reading speed increases. Okay, so this is a must. You should do this. Okay. Any good book on verbal for CAT? Sumant, I would suggest that you please start by reading papers. Don't worry about books. The whole idea, my friend, is you need to improve your reading speed first. Right? If you get your reading speed up to probably around 300 words per minute. So this is your target, 300 words per minute. If you can do this, I think you are in a good position. Many of you who are not used to reading, you will take, or your speed will be somewhere around 120 words per minute. You have to more than double it. 120 to 150 is what you have right now. You have to more than double it or almost double it depending upon where you are right now. That's your target. You should be able to do this by June end. If you spend 1 hour every day, by June end you will definitely do this. I can guarantee this. I have seen students doing it. It is not a great task. Okay. So this is about your verbal ability. The next is reading comprehension. When it comes to RC, these are the various topics from which passages can come. So business and economy, you should know the business and economic terms, which means slowly over the next 5 months, keep reading papers once in a while, see what the terms mean. For example, if I'm talking about inflation, or if I'm talking about merger or an acquisition or anything like this, can you make sense of the word? What does it exactly mean? Okay, so that's what you need to understand. Science, biology and physics. Similarly, you have ecology, especially these areas. Psychology, philosophy. Philosophy is something which puts even the best readers to sleep. Now, not many people are interested in philosophy. You are all young. You are in the age of 20s, 21, 22, 23. You are all looking at capturing the world. And then when you talk about philosophy, there is the gentleman who's at 60 years about to die and talking about what is the meaning of life, why do I exist, what am I doing. Why would anybody be interested in this at all in the first place? You won't be, naturally. That is natural. Nothing wrong with it. However, this is asked quite a bit in your CAT. What can you do about it? You can't say I don't like it so I'll not read. It comes as a question in your CAT exam. So you have to prepare for it. I'm not saying that you have to be, you have to read some pinnacle in philosophical terms, but at least understand the various ideas behind philosophy. When they use a term, know what is the meaning of the author and get used to not falling asleep when you read a passage. Okay, that's the most important part. You start a passage and you're sleeping halfway through. I don't know, I mean, it will happen in the beginning, but the more you do, you'll develop some kind of a stamina to go through the passage, and that's what you're supposed to do. Okay. Satya Sai is asking, presently he's studying first year degree. When should I start preparing? Satya Sai, you can at least start preparing for passage reading, that is reading even from today. But serious preparation you can start from the second year of your degree. Okay, because degree is only for 3 years. Second year you can start your serious preparation, because third year, first semester is when you'll be writing your CAT exam. So if you are in first year right now, I'm assuming 2023 CAT is what you'll be writing. Correct? Anyway, so that's what you need to do. So these are the things that you should know. How does a political passage look like? How does a history and humanities passage look like? You should have gone through each one of these types of passages, not just one passage, at least about 10-15 types of passages by June end, so that you can if I give you a passage, can you classify into one of these? You should be in a position to classify, okay, this passage belongs to which category? That's the target. You don't have to answer the questions perfectly, but at least can you identify what the passage is about? Okay. Next we are moving on to logical reasoning and data interpretation. So these are the topics that you have to familiarize yourself with. Again, you should know what is the meaning of each one of these questions, each one of these topics. You might not be able to solve them, but at least if I give you a question, you should be able to tell me where it belongs. So there are different types of graphs which are there in DI. There are different standard problems that come in logical reasoning. You should be in a position to tell me, if I give you a question, where does it belong? Yes, and easy questions you should be able to answer. Okay, so I'm not spending too much of time going through this, because this is a live session. The recording will also be there, so you can pause the screen later on when you're going through the recording and take notes of this. Right? Similarly, if you look at Quant, These are the various topics that I want you to be perfect. In fact, this is a must. This is a must. Nobody should leave this. Arithmetic is a must. Almost 40% of your quant in CAT will be from arithmetic. So whether you hate it or not, I don't care. You have to be good at arithmetic. Arithmetic cannot be one of your weak areas, guys. If it is your weak area right now, spend as much time as you can so that you become strong at it. Because if your arithmetic is weak, your CAT quant is dead. Let me put it out there and say, if your arithmetic is weak, your CAT quant is dead for you. Please keep this in mind. Right? So make sure that your arithmetic is, at least you become above average in your arithmetic. Then algebra is the second most important topic along with your geometry and mensuration. So arithmetic, algebra and geometry. These are my recommended topics. Apart from this, you can prepare modern math, PNC, Venn diagrams, cubes, trigonometry. You can also prepare number theory, number systems, LCM, HCF and all of those. But a must are these three. Okay, these three are a must over the next 9 months. Please don't leave these three. Okay. By the way, guys, once again a reminder, if you have not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and click on the like button. Click on the notification button more importantly, because we have a lot of such sessions lined up in the next few months. Almost every week we have sessions coming your way. So if you want to be a part of the sessions or at least get notification of it, please click on the notification button. Right? So let's go ahead, and I want to speak a little bit about mocks now. Okay? I already said your mocks should start from the month of May. Why is it so early? The reason is, the purpose of the mocks to start early is not for you to get some great score and be happy or get a low score and be sad. Scores don't matter in the first few mocks. The purpose is quite simple. You need to be practicing to sit for 2 hours. You need to practice to sit for 2 hours without distractions. Guys, how many of you are in a position to sit for 2 hours and not think of anything else but study? It's not easy. You'll realize that it's if you do it for the first time, you'll realize that after 20 minutes some song will be playing in your head. After another 5 minutes some friend will come into your head. After 10 minutes some movie will come into your head. That's what will happen in the beginning at least. So you need to be in a position to sit for 2 hours without any distraction, shutting your mind off. That is the main purpose for the first few mocks, at least till June end. The purpose of a mock is not score. I don't care if you get 0 or negative marks. What I want you to do is sit there for 2 hours without fail. Okay? Learning to pick questions. So in this 5 months, so as I said, the first step will be learn to sit for 2 hours. The second step, let us say there are 65 questions or 66 questions. You prepared, let us say you are starting the mock in the month of April. Okay, I'm giving you one example. April you are starting your first mock. And you prepared only 3 topics in maths. 3 topics. What are the 3 topics? Let me take an example. You prepared percentages. You prepared time and distance. You prepared time and work. That's all. You didn't prepare anything else. Percentages, there were 3 questions. Time and distance, time and work, together there were 4 questions in your mock. Totally you had 7 questions. Were you able to attempt all 7? That's all. I don't care whether you attempted others or not. This 7 is your target. So what I'm trying to say is, in the first 5 months of your mocks, I don't care how many marks you get. My only thing is, if you prepared a topic, are you able to attempt those questions in the exam? Yes, some of them might be difficult. Out of the 7, you attempted only 5 because 2 were difficult. I'm okay with it. But did you understand all the 7? Did you know that these 7 are the topics that you prepared? Or these 7 questions are from the topics that you prepared? Or are you saying that I don't even know what topic this is from? Then it means you're not doing your job properly. But if you know it's a time and distance, but you know it's difficult, I'm not able to solve, that's okay. But you should know that these questions are for me, at least for me to see and attempt it. I might be able to get the answer or not get the answer, but at least try. That's your purpose of the mock. Okay? Picking the questions from a set of 22, 25 questions is what you're going to learn. Okay? Scores don't matter, as I said. Please don't worry about the scores. Many of you are having this bad habit. In fact, you will see that when you start writing your mock, the first 2-3 mocks are bad and you stop writing mocks. It's like saying that I rode my bicycle twice and I fell down twice, so I stopped riding. When will you ever learn? You will not learn how to ride a bicycle. You will fall once, twice, thrice. You will get scratches here and there. But then after that only you will get to learn how to ride a bicycle properly. Please keep that in mind, my friends. You stop there, then your learning process ends. It's not magic that tomorrow morning you're going to get up suddenly and ride or get a perfect score in Quant. It will not happen. You are supposed to fall. You are supposed to pick yourself up. That learning process has to happen in mocks. Please keep that in mind. Okay, now here I want to explain to you with a graph. Usually this is what happens in mocks. So if I draw this graph where x-axis is the number of mocks and y-axis is your score in mocks. Typically the graph behaves like this. Okay, this is your first, so this is your mock number 1. Typically this will be mock number 3 or 2 or 3. This will be your mock number 6 or 8 or 10, something like that, and this will be your mock number 20 plus. This, you need to understand the graph. Most of the students start with a score and they see that the score declining. It will happen for everyone, but they don't realize that after this the takeoff happens and they quit at this rock bottom. This is the point where they quit. I am telling you guys, the graph will go up. The graph will go up if you continue the mocks. Many of the students give up too easily in the first 4 or 5 mocks or even 6 mocks. They said, sir, I have written 6 mocks, I'm not getting anything. Boss, people who get 99 percentile write 25 mocks. You have written 1/4 of it and you are crying about it. Please continue the story. Please continue the journey. It's a hurdle, yes. And this is where you need mentorship. Many of the students don't do this. We are there, not just we. I mean, wherever you have joined, you have your faculty members. Reach out to them. Don't be shy. Tell them, sit with them, bug them, saying that, sir, my score is not increasing. What should I do? I am continuously doing this. What is my mistake? Tell me, how do I improve now? I am getting only 20 marks. Can I go to 40? From 40, can I go to 50 or 60 or 70 for that matter? But take the first step. The faculty will not come and ask you what is happening. You have to go. That's your life. Okay, so please don't quit at this point, which is what I've observed a lot of students doing it. Please don't do that mistake. I keep saying this every year to every one of you or in all my sessions. This is the point where you quit. Please don't quit. Okay. Phase 2. So in phase 2, what happens? This is your July to September. So July, August, September, it's a 3-month plan. So by now your basics are done. So you at least know what the basics are. So now you're going to start practicing the moderate level and difficult level questions. So easy questions are already done. This is where you're supposed to start preparing your moderate and difficult level questions. Okay, mostly moderate you should finish. Difficult is fine. If you are able to do it, it's okay. But definitely in the 3 months, the moderate and above moderate, above average level difficult, average and above average level difficult questions you should do in all the topics that we discussed. Okay. By now, you should also know, by doing this moderate level questions, you should also know what is your strength and your weakness. You know, what topics you love, what topics you hate. Okay? And make sure that you are focusing on questions that have more than one concept involved. For example, I'm a quant faculty, so I keep using a lot of quant examples. If there's a question which talks about modulus plus quadratic equations, it's a combination of 2 topics put together and a question is made, and you get questions like this. In fact, this CAT 2021, there were 2-3 questions where mixture of topics were given. So please make sure that you're focusing on topics where 2 different concepts are combined. Okay, that's where the difficulty level will start increasing. Which time online classes start in BYJU'S? Satyasai, I have that coming up in the next 1 or 2 slides. Please hold on. Okay. And work on unacceptable weak areas. Now remember, there are weak areas, that's fine. You can have weak areas, but there are some areas which are not acceptable to be called as weak. For example, arithmetic. You cannot say arithmetic is a weak area. You cannot go to CAT with arithmetic being your weak area. I cannot stress the importance of it. So if you identify that arithmetic is a weak area, you have to prepare on it. Similarly, RC cannot be called as a weak area. If you are weak in RC, your English, what will you do? Your 70% of your English paper is RC only, reading comprehension. What will you do about it then? Right? So if you are weak in RC, identify it, good. Now start working to make it at least above average. You can't go to CAT with these kind of weak areas. So there are certain areas which are unacceptable. Right, once again, as you need to keep discussing this with your faculty, because I'm not going to get into all the topics, classifying them as acceptable or not acceptable, but yeah, make sure that the topics which are required for CAT are not in your weak area part. You're weak in permutation combination, fine, that's not a problem. You're weak in, let's say, number theory, okay, not a problem. But you're weak in arithmetic, or you're weak in simple equation solving or quadratic equations is a problem, because they are quite heavily asked. Okay. The number of mocks in this phase, I'll stress a little bit about it. The number of mocks will now increase. If you remember, by June end, I asked you to write total, all months put together, I said 4 to 5 mocks. But in the second phase, every month you're looking at 3 to 4 mocks. Every month you're looking at 3 to 4 mocks. Okay? So formulate your strategy by experimenting, which means, what is the meaning of strategy? Will you go with question number 1, question number 2, question number 3 in a continuous order, or are you a person who like to start off with, question number 4 is a topic you like, so you start with 4, 1, 2, 3 is geometry. For example, I don't like geometry, so one question is geometry, I leave, I'll go to the second question, again geometry, I leave, third question is time and distance, I love, so I do time and distance. So are you a kind of person who does 1, 2, 3, 4 and keep attempting everything, or are you a person who would like to jump to what you like, then go back to the questions that you don't like later if time permits? Decide what works for you. Okay, are you a person who can do RC continuously, all, let's say 15 questions, 16 questions in RC and the remaining 6-7 questions in verbal ability, or do you want 2 RCs, then 1 or 2 verbal ability, again 2 RCs, 1 or 2 verbal ability? Figure it out. This is the time you're supposed to experiment and see what works and what does not work for you. Are you a person who wants to do continuous calculations in DI, or you want to take 1 DI set and 2 logic sets and then come back to 1 DI set or something like that? So there are different ways in which a paper needs to be attempted or can be attempted. You need to figure what works for you. Okay, so that's where your experiment comes, and that's why you need so many mocks, right? You need to have so many mocks for you to experiment what is widely working for you. Okay, so see what's working and what isn't. Seek the help of your mentor, guys. This is the time where, this is the phase where if you don't go to your mentors, your preparation is of no use anymore. So make sure that you reach out to the mentors if something is not working out. Don't be shy. Okay, and most importantly, do not give up. I cannot stress enough, people give up at the rock bottom in the graph that I showed. Please don't do that mistake. The graph will go up for sure. Okay. Last is the phase 3, which is just a 2-month plan, October and November. By now, the final leg of the journey starts. There are no more. So you don't have any more tinkering left out in mocks. You figured out what strategy works for you. Now you have to, finalize. So strategy is finalized. Implement it again and again, so that you know what could be the shortfalls in the strategy and correct it. Do not change your strategy anymore. Last 2 months, whatever strategy you picked, stick to it. Don't alter the strategy again and again. That time is over. So by October and November, you should know what you're going to do in verbal, what you're going to do in DILR, what you're going to do in Quant. Don't change. Stick to it. This is not the time to experiment anymore. Okay? No more worries on weak areas. Whatever happens, happens. Ke sara sara basically means whatever happens, happens. There's no more, there's no more worrying. You have done your best. Continue your preparation. If there is a weak area, leave it. If there is a strong area, continue with it. Do not worry about areas that you did not prepare. Let's say you left out P and C, that's okay. If you feel everything else is done, you can spend some time on P and C. Otherwise, I'm okay with it, because it's not that big an important area, right? But yeah, make sure that there is no more unacceptable weak area by this time. Okay, and now the mock frequency will increase even more. 1 to 2 mocks per week and almost 6 mocks per month. So in the last 2 months, September and October, you should be giving anywhere between 10 to 12 mocks. Anywhere between 10 to 12 mocks. That's your target. Okay, now in fact, I would probably say 10, because November you don't have the full month. Because November last 2-3 days or last 4 days is when your actual CAT exam will happen. And usually we don't recommend you writing a mock 2-3 days before. So before your actual CAT. So probably the last 7 days you will not write any mock in November. So you have October and about 3.5 weeks of November. So 10 to 11 mocks is a realistic figure that you have to target. Okay. Now what can we do as BYJU'S to help you guys prepare? So we have 2 types of plans, my friends. So somebody was asking. So we have one product is through the SD card. where we will provide you with a tablet, and all the sessions are going to be recorded and given to you with an SD card. There are about 135 live sessions which we'll be conducting apart from the SD card. So that's going to be like your doubt clearing sessions, explanation of concept. It's not teaching technically in the class like what normal classes happen, but this is specific to, okay, a workshop on all arithmetic topics put together, or a doubt clearing on time and distance and time and work put together and things like that. So that way we'll be having 135 live questions, and the remaining are fairly self-explanatory. We have 70 plus mocks of CAT and other MBA entrance exam put together. We have entrance exams, rather mocks for CAT, ZAT, your SNAP, NMAT, TISNET, everything. There's no entrance exam which does not have a mock given by BYJU'S, right? We have the number of questions are about a number of classes. The full length teaching, which is the recorded version, is about 300 classes over there. And of course, this also includes your GD, PI and WAT prep. Okay. The second kind of a product that we're talking about is live sessions. This is live streaming. So we have 135 live sessions and 300 plus comprehensive recorded sessions. Again, you'll be getting, so here the idea here is, these live sessions are not going to be based on doubt clearing. These are going to be concept explanation, taking up questions in the class. So this is like a typical streaming of a class, right? Apart from that, you'll also be given the recorded sessions so that you can take a look at many more questions which will be solved over there. Of course, you have a lot of topic tests, sectional tests, and we also have a part of, we have GDPA and WAT prep as a part of the program over here. So the pricing is in the range of around 34,000. I think you can talk to our counselors for that. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Please follow us on these Instagram, subscribe on your YouTube channels, and I'm open to Q&A if you guys have any. Let me go through the comments if I have any unanswered questions. ST category के लिए कितना percentile चाहिए होगा? For what, Naveen? For which college are you talking about? Typically for the top MBA colleges for ST, especially if you're looking at IIMs, you get anything above 88, 89 percentile, you will get very good calls. Okay. Online classes, Satyasai, we have it in the evenings, we have it in the nights. So the exact timings, you can reach out to our counselors. They will help you out with it. Okay. Well guys, so I hope you enjoyed the session. I've been able to give you the plan for preparation for the next 9 months. And if you have any further questions, please leave it in the comment and we will definitely answer your questions. Thank you and see you in my next session.